All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Entrepreneurs International Network. My name is Becky Askerland and I am the organizer for EIN. We are very excited for our speaker today. Each week we bring speakers that we know and collaborate with to bring some kind of valuable message or training for entrepreneurs here in this space. I appreciate everybody taking the time to show up for this training today from our amazing expert. Today, we have Iman Aghay, who is going to be discussing how to build a solid referral network without paid ads or cold outreach. Iman is a serial entrepreneur. He's an international speaker and a 10-time #1 best-selling author. Iman is most known as the leader's mentor. He has developed more than 150 courses for coaches, authors, speakers, and program leaders. He has presented at over 2,000 live and virtual stages and is an early investor in over 160 tech and medical companies. I am very excited for Iman. Let me bring him on stage for you. Iman, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited to be here actually today. Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Becky, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Doing well? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So before I get started, first of all, I'm very impressed that people are from all over the place today. I think we didn't have even 2 people from the same place, which was pretty impressive because usually like we at least have 2 people from the same place, and at least in the chat box we had like 1 person from each place, and so that was very impressive. So before I get started and do the whole talk, I just want to know also, what is your work? Like, what do you do? What's your industry? That will help me to give you better examples and better samples of like different ways to be able to find joint venture partners and build referral networks for yourself. Because I tend to get super focused on one particular group of people, and then if I know different things that you guys do, I can just adjust my examples to be aligned with your work. So if you can go to the chat box and tell me what's your focus, what's your expertise, what it is that you do, that would be great. Okay, so we have fractional CFO for $1 to $20 million businesses and personal financial coach. Perfect. Alan is payroll software. That's fantastic. IT consulting and solution development for FaceAll. AI business growth strategies for Terrence. That's awesome. Business funding for Rondo. Megan, freelance project manager, supply medical devices and biologics, awesome. B2B IT outsourcing, digital marketing, Facebook and Instagram ads, social media content creation, perfect. Insurance agent, trauma healing facilitator, payments, perfect. Virtual assistant, administrative assistant, real estate agent, fantastic. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So what we want to talk about today is how to build a solid referral network without being reliant on cold ads and cold outreach, right? So we usually, what we talk about the using ads or cold outreach is, everybody knows that we can go online and we can run some ads on Facebook and Instagram and on Google and start kind of getting in front of potential clients. However, one of the challenges that we face with that is that requires for you to have also great online marketing systems already in place, right? So if you want to run ads, for example, on Facebook, then you got to make sure that that ad is leading to a funnel, that the funnel converts really well, then the budget that you were spending on the ad is working well. Also, you understand the ads really well, understanding all the like grabbing attention of people and everything else. And kind of at one point, you start feeling like you're a world-class online marketer to be able to just run ads. Or when it comes to cold outreach, it's like picking up the phone and calling potential clients one after another, which for many introverts and also many extroverts is like nightmare, even doing that, right? So when it comes to ads, I always recommend to people to just find an ads expert and just work with an expert who knows how to do it, and just like get them to help you to do it. Especially if you work with an expert who has already done it for another person similar to you and to your industry, and then they can use their knowledge to help you with your field. Then that's like 10 times better investment of your time, energy, money, and motivation to to do that than actually wanting to go and figure everything out from scratch, right? So that's with that. And then when it comes to cold outreach, the reality is that cold outreach might not be for many, many people. Many people just feel that they want to be positioned as a go-to expert, get a referral of a person that says, hey, I want to work with you. And then they'll just talk to them and work with them. Um, in other words, many experts just want to be an expert and just do the thing that they do well and get the potential referral, as opposed to being out there figuring out marketing and just trying to kind of figure out all of those details. And if that resonates with you, go to the chat and say that resonates with me. You want to be the expert in your own area of expertise, and you want to just get quality referrals from people, right? And so what we want to talk about today is actually how to build this solid referral network of people that can keep referring clients to you on a regular basis. And I'm going to actually share with you a few ideas today on how you can build that solid referral network. Also, I'm going to talk about how uh, leading experts in the industry want to work with you and want to refer those clients to you, right? So I always talk about this to turn off any distractions you have. If you're checking email on the other side or anything else, turn that off. Just give me your next 50 minutes. I promise you that you're going to get really great content and education. And even one piece that I'm going to share with you can make a massive difference in the way that you're implementing things. Just one idea can help you to unlock getting access to a lot of clients. Make sure you get a pen and paper or something that you can take notes. And at the end of this presentation, actually throughout this presentation, I'll also invite you to join us for a world-class leading community of experts who can help you grow your business. In fact, I wanted to give this to you at the end of this as a bonus for showing up today with me right now. But instead, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm just going to give you right now an invitation today. So just to start this with a gift. If you want to position yourself as a go-to expert and you want to connect and collaborate with other leaders in the industry, and you want to build relationships with people that can help you to get in front of your potential clients, we do an event called Collaborate. This is a 3-day event of connecting and collaborating with industry leaders. I'm going to talk a lot about this during today on why it's important to attend events that are similar to this. But we have an event coming up September 11th to 13th at collaborateevent.com, and you can get yourself a free ticket by going to collaborateevent.com. And I highly recommend to everyone, after reserving your free ticket at one point before the September 11th, also upgrade to a VIP ticket, because the VIP section gives you better quality networking. But just that's my gift outright to you, just for showing up here today and joining us. So now, I think actually Becky has already put the link in the chat box for you. Yeah, so you can actually go ahead and click on that, and you can register for that event for free right now. Awesome. So a little bit about me before we get started with all these like collaboration ideas and how you can get access to hundreds of potential clients. Um, I'm the founder of Entrepreneurs International Network, which is the network that you are at right now. We have about 85,000 members today at Entrepreneurs International Network. But the reality is that I started Entrepreneurs International Network back about 15 years ago because I was nobody. Like, nobody knew me. I was a newcomer. I couldn't speak English properly, and I wanted to start a web design company. And technically, the situation was I wanted to start this web design company to go out and build websites for people, but I didn't have any samples of jobs. I didn't have any family or friends or network or connections, and I couldn't speak English properly. And I was like, yeah, that's not a great way for positioning myself as the go-to expert, right? You're like, hey, let me build your website, but I don't have any samples of jobs. And I was like, well, how can I actually change my positioning to the market? And so I remember this is back in February 2010, and I live in Vancouver, BC. And I said, well, what if I start a group on meetup.com called Vancouver Business Network? So I went to meetup.com and I started this group called Vancouver Business Network. And in a matter of a second, I switched from a newcomer who couldn't speak English, who didn't have a sample of job, but wanted to design people's websites, to be the founder of Vancouver Business Network, who happened to be a newcomer and and doesn't have any sample of job. Like the positioning significantly changed. Do you follow that change in the positioning? Right? That change in the positioning. Now, here is what happened. When I started Vancouver Business Network, so it made me the founder of Vancouver Business Network, right? The next day, I went to get a haircut. And the person that was cutting my hair asked me, like, what do you do, right? And I said, I'm the founder of Vancouver Business Network, and I help people to increase their sales from the internet. So positioning and explanation of the work that you do in a simple language, result-oriented simple language. Did you follow that? I'm the founder of Vancouver Business Network, and I help people to increase their sales from the internet. Yep. And then he said, well, how do you do that? And so I got a pen and paper, and I started explaining to him how I do that. Now, the interesting thing is that I actually had never designed a website. I have an MBA in online business, so I knew what I was talking about in marketing, but I had never coded a website before. But at that point, he didn't care about that. So he looked at what I was doing, and I was expecting him to buy. He didn't. But 2 days later, he called me and he said, Iman, do you have time right now to talk to someone to help them with increasing their sales from internet? And I was like, yeah, I am doing nothing. And then he was like, okay, well, they're here. And he passed the phone to her. And she said, for the last 3 years, I've been trying to get my website to a place that we can get sales. Do you think you can help me? I'm like, well, let's go and let's see, right? So we went to a coffee shop, and an hour later, she paid me $1,800. Now, to put this in perspective, that $1,800 was so crucial to my life because we didn't have the money to pay the rent. That $1,800 paid the rent of the month and bought us some food. Like at that point, we were at a place that we're eating one meal a day. And like that money bought us food and paid the rent. Now, this is the first ever customer I got as a newcomer who could barely speak English from a referral. And the first ever customer came from a referral. But the interesting thing is that that hairdresser over the next 3 years referred over $100,000 worth of clients to me. So I always told people, like, if you don't like my haircut, I don't care. This is worth $100,000, right? But there is some rules to that. That's like, okay, well, there's positioning. There is also explanation in simple language. And of course, following that, it led to lots of other things. So of course, ever since, that Vancouver Business Network grew and expanded, and I made it Entrepreneurs International Network. We expanded to 15 different cities, 85,000 members. I started another company called Next Gen Collaboration Circle. It took multiple companies to 7 figures. I've written the most sold book in the world on online course creation called The Ultimate Course Formula. And over the past 15 years, I've made over 1,000 plus joint venture partners. Like 1,000 plus people in the last 15 years have referred clients to one or multiple of my businesses. So there is a system to that, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So first, let's talk about joint venture partnership, because a lot of times we talk about the referral network, but there is a bigger concept to referral network called the joint venture partnership, and many people don't realize the importance of the meaning of joint venture partnership. And so that gets in the way of understanding the referral network. So majority of people know what referral network is, right? Referral network is that I refer a person to you and another person refers a person to you, right? So that's a referral partner, referral network, right? But referral partnership is a subcategory of a bigger type of partnership called joint venture partnership. So a joint venture partnership is when two people come together and they have a limited partnership with each other. So they're not partners in business with each other, but they are partners in either finding client and delivering the product, or they are partners in producing a product together. And when you understand the meaning of the joint venture partnership and you look deeper into the connections that you're building with people, then suddenly you unlock a massive door to be able to get referral clients from a lot of people. Let's say, for example, in one of my businesses called Next Gen Collaboration Circle, we help people to land the stages. So we have these listings of upcoming seminars and conferences and events and podcasts and all of these things, and we provide these to speakers to go and land all of those, right? But we don't do any speaking training. We don't do any public speaking training. So one of the greatest ways for us that we do joint venture partnership with people is that many experts out there are teaching public speaking training. They're teaching people how to do public speaking. So we go out and reach out to them. We're like, hey, you teach people how to do public speaking. We have the listings of all these upcoming events and seminars and conferences. Can we include our membership to our system as part of your package? So when people buy your course to learn how to be a public speaker, they also get our membership as part of it. You see how that adds value to the clients of those people? But that also adds a ton of value to us because that's consistently bringing clients to us. So instead of us going out there every single day and building these finding one client at a time, we build one relationship that brings us 15, 16, 20, 100, 300, 500 clients a year. So instead of building one-to-one relationship, we're building one-to-one relationships that gives us access to one-to-many clients. So the first question for you is that who and what type of people can you work with that when you build that relationship and you co-create something together, they can bring clients to you on a regular basis? And what is your plan and strategy to create a deal that is good for you, that's good for them, and is good for the client? Because if you follow those three things, that's good for you, it's good for them, it's good for the client, then in a massive way, you unlock access to potential clients. Now, you want to know something better? It works even better if you have a multi-layer marketing system. What it means is that if you have an initial product that you can include in someone else's program, and when those people start working with you, then they can purchase future services from you. If your business can be set up in that way, then that's even better. So for example, if we can include our $1,000 membership in somebody else's course, but when those people come to our world, they can upgrade to our $10,000 package, then that's like dream come true. Why? Because if we're including this $1,000 program as a bonus in somebody else's program, but they are consistently sending people to us, we are serving those clients with excellence, and those clients are upgrading to our 10K package. What do we want better than that in the world? You know? So that's one of the things that I actually did with my online course creation program. So back in the day, in 2016, 17, 18, I had a course, an ultimate course called Ultimate Course Formula, which is the same course as the book is about, right? And I was teaching people how to create and launch their online courses in 60 days or less. And there were lots of people out there that were teaching how to run Facebook ads. There were lots of people who were teaching how to do public speaking. There were lots of people who were teaching people how to sell from the stage. And all of those clients needed to have an online course, right? You want to sell from the stage. What do you want to sell? You can sell your online course. You don't have one, you got to learn one, right? So then I would include that course as part of their packages. So they would buy somebody else's course, Facebook ads program. They would get my course as a bonus. They would buy somebody else's public speaking course. They would get my course as a bonus. They were right. But then when people would work with us for 60 days and they would create and launch their course, they had gotten a result that they would never get with anybody else. And then they will come to us and they're like, Iman, I want to join your $25,000 mastermind. So they will work with us for 6 weeks as a bonus, but then now they were joining our 25K mastermind. And all I needed to do was just gifting my course. I was known as the most generous person because I was going around, I was gifting this $2,000 course. I was generating millions of dollars on the back end because people were getting results from the initial package. Is everybody following that? Is everybody following that? Now, that might not be able, you might not be able to set up every business that way, but if you can set it up that way, then you're really, really, really greatly positioned, right? Now, that's something that you need to consider. It's like when it comes to joint venture partnership, can you shape joint venture partnership with somebody else where you can include part of your program, part of your package, and put it inside their program and or co-create something together. So I'm going to tell you another thing about joint venture partnership, and I'm going to go into what are some world-class leaders that actually want to work with you and promote you, and I want to actually talk about that. So, for example, when I started Vancouver Business Network back in 2010, I couldn't speak English properly. Like literally, if you would ask me, what are you up to? My understanding was, what are you standing up on? So I would look down and I would say floor. I remember like when I landed in Canada, when the immigration officer asked me, how is it going? I got offended because I thought that he's referring to me as an it. And I'm like, I'm not a dog. Like, why are you referring? I'm not going anywhere. I just arrived. Like racial discrimination from the first second, right? Like that was my level of English. Like that was how I would understand things, right? So when I started Vancouver Business Network, I couldn't run it. I couldn't MC it. I was just brave enough or stupid enough to just go and start it, right? But I was like, okay, well, somebody should run this thing. So I contacted a friend of mine whose English was really good, but needed a website. And I wanted to have a web design company, right? So I told her name was Sarah. I was like, Sarah, can we make a deal? You run Vancouver Business Network for the next 3 months as the MC for me, and I'll build a free website for you. And then she was like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I need to improve my English in the next 3 months. So I started going to Toastmasters clubs and started like kind of learning how to MC and all of those type of things, right? But in the next 3 months, she was the MC, I was the organizer. And we co-created these events that we were getting 70, 80, 100, 120, 140 people showing up live. Now, I didn't have a lot of money to also rent venues. So here's what I did. I went to a local bank and I said, I'm the founder of Vancouver Business Network. Positioning is everything, right? I'm the founder of Vancouver Business Network. And we want to do these weekly entrepreneurial events. Can we get you as a sponsor to allow us to do evening events? And they said yes. So every Tuesday at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at a local bank on Pender Street, we were doing these local events. The venue was free. The audience were coming from meetup.com. And listen to this. Then I started contacting the biggest speakers in the city. And I was like, I'm the founder of Vancouver Business Network, and I want you to speak at my group. And they're like, sure. Like, I mean, like, we're the founder of Vancouver Business Network. Is everybody following that? Like, that positioning is like, now they're like, yes, 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 right? So I'm getting the biggest speakers, promoting the event. I'm not even in front of the room. Sarah is in front of the room because I can't be in front of the room, right? So in 3 months, we grew the group to 400 people. And the biggest event we did was 170 people attended. But 170 people attending an event, that makes you one of the most influential people in the city, doesn't it? So I went from absolutely nobody to a person that everywhere I was walking into, people were like, oh, you're the founder of Vancouver Business Network. Oh, what was your name? What was your name, right? Like they couldn't read my name, so they would call me Iman, or they would read my last name as Aghay, right? Instead, like they couldn't even read my name, which by the way is Iman Aghay, like a guy walked into a bar, right? But lots of people were just like, they couldn't even read my name, but they knew me on the street. And that enabled me to reach out to all our best speakers and organize a large event at Vancouver Convention Center with 250 attendees called the Marketing Mastery Summit back in 2011. So I rented like the convention center and everything. But positioning yourself as a place that can build your credibility and taking action and running the group. Now, back in the day, everything was in person, but now there are lots of virtual options. Anyone can start a podcast. But if you name your podcast properly, suddenly you are the host of a really great podcast. Anyone can do a summit. If you're host of a summit, you can easily position yourself as the go-to expert. Anyone can host a giveaway. Anyone can host a virtual event. So today, it's significantly easier to do everything that back in the day we did it virtually. We did it in person. It was more expensive back in the day. It was harder. It was more complicated. Now we're doing all of these events virtually. Now we're doing all of these things from really the comfort of our home. So here's the question for you. What can you do that can position you as an influential person in your industry for your target market or for your potential clients? Either for your target market or for your potential clients. Now, what I mean by this is this. Let's say, for example, you're a realtor. If you're a realtor, can you have a podcast for the real estate in your city? Can you have a YouTube show around real estate in your city? Now, the question here is that can you reach out to your best potential JV partners? Who are the best potential JV partners for you? Mortgage brokers. There are lots of other, insurance brokers, there are lots of people, right? So who are those people? And can you build a relationship? Hey, I'm the host of Vancouver's Top Sellers Show, and I want to have you on a panel of my mortgage brokers for this episode. Bam, 5 relationships. Do you follow that? You immediately can position yourself as the go-to expert. You immediately can become the center of influence. That's what I call it always, center of influence. Become the center of influence. When you become the center of influence, everybody comes to you. Everybody comes to you, then you can convert them to referral partners. Then you can work with them to get actual paying clients. Okay? So now, guess what? There are also lots of leaders in the industry that people see them as leaders who all started exactly from where you are today. And 2 years later, they're positioned as a leader. Why? Because they were in a place that they needed a referral to their business. So they were like, I need a referral to my business and I need credibility. Remember, everybody wants 3 things: exposure, credibility, and income. Exposure, credibility, and income. These 3 things come together for all entrepreneurs. Why people start a podcast? Because they want the exposure and they want the credibility. Why people do an event, like all these hosts of events? Why do they do the event? Because they want the exposure, they want the credibility, and they want the income. So anybody that's doing any of these events, any of these summits, any of these giveaways, any of these, they are looking for 1 or 2 or 3 of these things: exposure, credibility, and income. Right? So guess what? If they are doing it, you can be a great partner for them. Why? Because if they are doing a podcast, what do they need? An expert to interview. If they are doing a show, what do they need? A person who has a story. So you can be the person who has the story. You can be the expert who has the content. If they are doing a giveaway, what do they need? They need gifts. So you can actually have a gift. So question for you, do you have a gift right now for your target market, a downloadable PDF? Do you have any free education online? If you don't, literally, especially with the world of AI, it takes you less than an hour to put it together. So if you don't have any of these things, do you have a checklist? Like, think about it. Your client comes to you. Can they use a checklist, that they follow that checklist and they take action to work with you? If they can, just put a checklist together. But now that immediately positions you as a person that can participate and provide value. So the industry leaders that are out there right now and is doing a lot of different type of things, there are different ways that they want to promote you, because whatever they are doing it because they were looking for exposure, credibility, or income. Okay? And these 5 major ways is, number 1, they want to have you featured on their podcast. Number 2, If they are doing any giveaways, they want you to participate in their giveaways. Number 3, many of them host summits and they want you to speak on their summits. Number 4, they want you to speak at their events. And number 5, they want you to cross promote. Now, if you look at this, you see that everything on this list involves with you providing value. You providing value. Why? Because when you provide value first, it positions you as the expert. Why did my hairdresser refer the first client to me? He referred the first client to me because I talked to him about how I help people to increase their sales from the internet. He really liked it and he understood it. Then he could start referring clients to me. Make sense? If I hadn't talked to him, he wouldn't be able to start referring clients to me. So, question for you here is this. Are you ready to do a 10-minute interview, to have a 15-minute conversation, to do a 20-minute talk about your expertise? A 30-minute talk about your expertise, right? If you get yourself comfortable with that, then you can do an interview. By the way, anybody can do an interview, right? So lots of people are not public speakers, but everybody can do an interview easily. And so if you can do an interview, guess what? You can easily land podcasts. There are lots of podcasts out there that are looking for experts like you. They are interviewing people on a regular basis. So let me ask you a question. Have you searched for podcasts that are focused on your target market? Because guess what? No matter your expertise, there are some podcasts out there that is focused on your target market, that your target market is listening to it. And they're looking for guest speakers. Every single day, they are looking for, like imagine a podcast that gets 1 or 2 episodes a week published. They are looking for 50 guests a year, 100 guests a year. You know how hard it is to find 100 quality guests every year? So question here is that, have you researched for the podcasts in your target market, in your expertise? Have you listened to them to see if they have any guests, and have you reached out to them to land those podcasts? Because if you didn't, then guess what? There are lots of potential partners there, and that is one of the greatest partnerships. Why? You can get online, do a 20-minute interview, and invite people to book a call with you to see how they can work with you. We had a person earlier today that was talking about, raising funds. We had another person that was expert in payroll. We have another person. All of your people, like all the clients that were working with you, they have problems. And they are listening to these podcasts and radio shows. Podcasts are actually pretty popular, believe it or not. And so if you're the guest, and at the end of a podcast interview, you tell people, hey, if you're struggling with your payroll, if you're struggling with funding, if you're struggling with finding a good realtor, just reach out and book a one-on-one call with me, or go to my website and fill in this form, or email me at this address. Even if you don't have anything but just an email address, just email me here and let's get on the call and let's have a conversation. And imagine if you are getting on one podcast a month and 8,000 people hear it. 3 or 4 people connecting with you. Would that change anything in your business? If you were getting extra 4 or 5 clients, 3 or 4 clients a month, would that change anything in your business? Of course it would. Now imagine you're landing one podcast a week. But the key to it is one, finding these podcasts, or two, finding these podcasters. What do I mean by this? The greatest and easiest way to land a podcast or land a summit or landing a giveaway, you know what it is? Knowing the host. So there are lots of events that are designed for bringing the host of events, summits, podcasts, giveaways together. Why? Because all these hosts are looking for experts. So they come together with the speakers and with the guests, and they match with each other. We call those JV summits. So there are summits that joint ventures meet one another. So hosts of summits and podcasts and events, and right, they come together with the speakers and experts, and they meet one another. And when they meet one another, they introduce themselves, they connect, and they get booked. So you can either do Google search and go the long path of like just sitting there and like every single day like Googling, or you can go to one of these JV summits and then you can meet lots of hosts of events and summits and podcasts, build a relationship with them, and then follow up and land the talks. So the Collaborate event that I gifted you earlier today, like at the beginning of my talk, is a JV summit. The Collaborate event is the event where we're bringing the hosts of events and summits and organizers of seminars and conferences, and we're bringing speakers and experts together where they introduce themselves to these hosts. So the hosts are looking for speakers and experts. The speakers and experts are looking for these hosts. It's a matchmaking, right? So they connect with each other, they talk to each other, and they land each other's stages, and they walk away with 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 talks by the end of the event. Does that make sense? Right? And so that was what I gifted you at the collaborateevent.com. Becky can put that for you in the chat box, right? And you can get yourself a free ticket to come to collaborateevent.com and meet all these hosts, all these organizers. Now, the next thing is giveaways. So what are gift giveaways? Gift giveaways is when an organizer comes together and says, I want to put together a collaborative traffic strategy. What's a collaborative traffic strategy? Collaborative traffic strategy is when one person brings a group of people and asks everybody in that group to promote the same thing. Okay? And then refers those people back to them. What does that mean? That means that, for example, let's say I come and I say, I want to do a gift giveaway. Becky, do you have a gift? Alan, do you have a gift? Gabriel, do you have a gift? David, do you have a gift, right? And all of you say, yeah, I have a gift. And I'm like, well, what if we do this? What if we put one page together that we have the gift of all of us on it, and then all of us promote that page? So people that are coming from Becky go and download Alan and Gabriel and David's gift. People who are coming from me go download Becky and David and Gabriel, right? So all of us are sharing this collaborative traffic. That's why it's called the collaborative traffic, right? Because all of us are collaborative to collaborating. Now, guess what? There are lots of people who choose to bring that collaborative traffic together and organize these type of things. Why? Because it positions them as a center of influence. Because that way, I can build a relationship with Alan, I can build a relationship with Becky, I can build a relationship with Gabriel. Why not? So it immediately positions me as a center of influence. I can bring all of these people together. We all build the traffic together. I build a mailing list, you build a mailing list. Now, we can go back to that mailing list and we can promote ourselves. So number one, you can actually host these giveaways yourself. Number two, There are lots of these giveaways out there that you can participate in. So when you come to events similar to Collaborate, or when you come to Collaborate, at Collaborate, we have this host of giveaways. We're going to raise their hand, and they're like, hey, I'm planning to have a giveaway on October 23rd to 25th for health industry. I'm planning to do one for business. I'm planning one for B2B. I'm planning to do one for spirituality. And if you're in spirituality, B2B, health, then you can go and participate in that gift giveaway. Is everybody with me? Is everybody following that? Okay. So that's why I say, like, many world-class leaders are actually looking for promoting you, because they're using different strategies, and these different strategies just bring people together, and you can be one, or you can even be the influencer who is putting it together. But there is a chance that you say, Iman, I don't know people. Well, if you don't know people, come to Collaborate. Because they collaborate, then you can raise your hand, and you're like, I'm planning this. And then all the people raise their hand. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm let's do it together. Right? They're already following that. So the thing that unlocks this is a relationship. It's building, it's finding people all in one place where everybody understands this world. When you're hanging out in a place that people don't get it, they're not trained, they're not educated for it, then they don't understand. Then you say, oh, I'm doing a gift giveaway. And I was like, what is that? Why would I want to promote you? And I'm like, no, we're doing this collaborative. I'm like, oh, I don't understand. I don't like it, right? But then when you're in a room that everybody is trained on the collaborative partnership, they understand the benefits of it. Everybody is just looking for it. People are not there. You don't need to convince people. People are eager to build those type of relationships. They just show up wanting to do it, right? Now, the next thing is being featured on summits. So what are summits? Summits are similar to gift giveaways. The only difference is that in a summit, you do an interview that is the same length as everybody else. So in a gift giveaway, you provide a gift. In a summit, you provide an interview. All of the people promote the same summit. And so, for example, Becky will do an interview with me, Gabriel will do an interview, David will do an interview, Lisa will do an interview, right? And then all of us promote. So people that Lisa brings see Gabriel and David and Becky's interview. People that Gabriel brings then see David and Lisa and Becky's interview, right? So we share our influence and reach with each other. And then, of course, at the end of your interview, then you can invite people to book a call with you and figure out more. So you say, oh, I help people with this problem, and then somebody else helps them with another problem, and then people book a call and get those referral partners. Is everybody following this? Okay. Now listen to this. This is an interesting thing. When you are in one of these summits, many other hosts of other summits are also listening to these summits. Do you know why? Because they're looking for the next speakers for themselves. So you're on one, and you can build a relationship for 2 or 3 more. And then you go to 2 or 3 more. So you start with 1, and it becomes 2, and then 5, and 10, and 20. And I think Becky in my introduction said, I've been on 2,000 live and virtual stages. 2,000 of them. Some days right now, I end up to be on 7 in a day. It wasn't like this, but you just build it one at a time, right? And even if it's like 1 a week, it makes a big difference. And you can easily do that 1 a week, even you can do 1 a month. That makes a big difference. Okay. Now, the next one is speaking at events. Of course, if you're a public speaker, then you can find a host of events, and then you can speak at those events, which is actually pretty obvious. And at the Collaborate event, we're actually going to talk a lot about speaking at events. There are so many different ways of speaking at events. There are 5 types of stage deals that you can do. There's so many ways to monetize the stage, but we teach all of that at the Collaborate event, right? So when you're at Collaborate event, we're going to teach you all of that. And the last one that they want you to promote them is cross promote, and they want to promote you in return, right? So what I mean by this is that you can always refer people to someone and then get referrals back with them. So let me ask you this question. Do you have a deal with 1, 2, 5, 10 people right now where you are referring clients to them and getting referrals from them on a regular basis? And if you don't, then you got to look at your list and see like who you should start working with. One of the greatest things that you can do is asking yourself, who are the best type of promotional partners for me? Who are the people that are out there right now every single day meet potential clients of mine, but they are not my competitors? If every single day they are out there and they are meeting your potential clients and they are not your competitors, you need to build relationships with them. If you're a realtor, how many mortgage brokers do you know? How many mortgage brokers do you refer clients to, and how many mortgage brokers do you get referrals from? How many insurance brokers do you know, and how many insurance brokers do you get referrals from? How many financial advisors, how many financial planners do you know and you get referrals? So any industry that you are in, you got to ask yourself, who are the people that in that industry go out there every single day and meet your potential clients? And how can you make a deal with them so you can refer clients to them, they can refer clients to you, or if they are referring clients to you, you would be the obvious person to refer clients to. I talked to you about my online course creation program. I just went around, I did a talk, I offered everybody that program as a gift if they would buy the program of the first person that would be on the stage. So everybody was like, holy crap, that's a $2,000 course. And if I buy this person's program, I get Iman's course as a bonus. So just people are getting this $2,000 course as a bonus, like back to back. I was the obvious choice. And every single day, it would add more clients to our world. So who are those people for you in your industry? Okay, make a list, start connecting with them. Most important thing though is make sure that you are building connections with the host of summits, host of events, host of giveaways. Those, like, if you get to the habit of those on a regular basis, you do 1 or 2 of those, you get clients referrals on a regular basis every single week. And that's what you want. And also you build credibility, because then they can say like, oh, you've been on like 85 podcasts. So it gives you exposure, it gives you credibility, and it gives you, of course, income. Is everybody with me? This makes sense? Awesome. So I look forward to seeing you at Collaborate, of course, September 11th to 13th, because when you come to Collaborate, we'll connect you with this host of summits and events and conferences, and all of these people will connect you with so many other speakers where you can actually just connect and collaborate with each other. You can step up and you can even host one yourself. You can host your own giveaway, you can host your own summit, because now you have these connections and relationships, right? And yeah, all you need to do is just go to collaborateevent.com and get yourself registered and come and join us. Cool. Does anybody have any questions? We good? Perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you at Collaborate. And Becky, I believe that we'll send the recording of this tomorrow to people. Is that what's happening? Like tomorrow?
Yes, the recording for everybody that's been registered will go out tomorrow.
Okay. Perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you want to review that, then you will also get the recording tomorrow as well. Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you at Collaborate. And with that, enjoy the rest of the day. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.